What is up, everybody? Sean the D-Man here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. I hope you guys are having yourselves a great weekend. We just finished up watching Auburn beating Mercer 62-17 and gearing up for next week's Iron Bowl. But not really much to say about this one. Obviously, going into the week, the debate was whether who would start. Would it be Jackson or would it be Deuce Knight? Early on, pretty much everybody kind of felt and probably knew it's going to be Deuce Knight. They came out earlier in the week, said it's going to be Deuce Knight. And this was the first full display of Deuce Knight. Now, obviously, he played against Ball State, but that was in garbage time with a lot of the other backups. This was going to be his opportunity to play with the starters. And he played really, really well. Obviously, again, it's Mercer, but you could say it's Mercer, but again, Mercer's like nine. Well, they're like 9-2 now. Top, I think top 8 in the FCS heading into the playoffs. So Mercer's not a bad team, I guess, and they really showed it in the first half. But obviously, the Auburn defense kind of woke up, and I'm gonna start with there. So Deuce Knight take a very first play of the game. Uh, or yeah, not first play, but first possession of the game. Already gets the ball. Deuce Knight does a 75-yard touchdown run. Got everybody hyped, got everybody excited. And then you have Mercer get the ball. And they weren't running the ball well enough, which is to be expected because most teams typically don't run the ball well on Auburn. But obviously the big concern has been that pass defense. And give Mercer credit, like their first 2 drives, they threw the ball like that freshman quarterback that they have, Atkinson, I believe it was his name. His ball placements were like really, really, really good, and there were some that he kind of missed on. That if maybe the accuracy or a little bit more touch was there, it could have been a touchdown on a few spots. But he threw the ball well. Like their offensive line was pretty much handling Auburn's defensive line good portion of the first quarter for sure. Not so much like after the first quarter. Like once the Auburn defense kind of like woke up, settled in, they kind of took over and the talent took over. But it was a little sluggish to start at the start of the game. But able to get 3 turnovers, an interception, pick 6, and a fumble. Uh, they continue to get turnovers in crucial spots because one of those, the pick 6, I believe. I'm trying to remember. It was either no, it wasn't. No, I think you got the interception first, which towards the end of the first half, you got an interception, and then you were able to drive it and get a touchdown going into halftime. But obviously, defense woke up, handled business. Mercer wasn't really able to do anything else afterwards. Um, but obviously, the main focus is Deuce Knight. Let me see, let me pull up his stats. What was his stats again? So Deuce was 15 of 20 for 239 yards, and he had 9 carries for 160. Now, one of those was the 75-yard touchdown run, but even then, he had himself a game. He did. And let's see, what about receiving? Malcolm Simmons had 149 yards. Cam Coleman 65. Eric Singleton 27. Perry Thompson 11. Uh, Jeremiah Cobb only 12 for 32. I don't want to say he looked beat up or anything like that, but they had been like riding him pretty much since Damari Austin decided to enter the portal and all that stuff. He has been pretty much the sole back. They really haven't done much to take some of that pressure off of him. And I was hoping he would have gotten close to 100 yards because he was only needing 96 more yards to be 1,000-yard rusher. So now he has to probably try to get at least 70-ish yards against Alabama. to be 1,000-yard rusher. And so I was kind of hoping he could get most of that, if not all of it, done in this game. So that wouldn't have to be something worried about going into the Iron Bowl next week. But I guess it is what it is. But Deuce Knight, the way he runs, it was just incredible to watch. It's just like he just floats through air. Um, you can tell he didn't have their experience because he could have had a touchdown in the first half. I think it was the first quarter, where if he would have led Cam to the end zone, put some air on the ball, that could have been a touchdown. But obviously he doesn't have that experience and stuff like that, so he kind of underthrew it a little bit. And now Cam probably, could have made it. It is what it is. He didn't, but I think with a much more experienced Deuce Knight would probably make that play because Cam had his guy beat. Um, and Deuce was like hitting them in good spots. Uh, a couple of drops, but nothing like too insane or nothing too crazy. But they got the job done. They really didn't run the ball well today, which was really surprising. Which just goes back to me talking about Cobb. Is just it just didn't seem like they ran the ball very very well compared to what we saw. Now again, it's probably a difference between uh maybe Ashton and Deuce. I don't know, but I thought we would see a much more heavy reliance on the run game, and it just looks like the offensive line did not provide much running room in that regard, which is really surprising since the offensive line is more built to run the football more than anything. Deuce escaped pressure a couple of times. A lot of times he even went through his progression a good portion of the game. Um, but I mean, listen, I would give. They played great. They played great the second half. Um, but like I don't like that first half. One of the talking points when it comes to the coaching search is whether or not keeping Durkin, or even if Durkin would somehow became head coach, like would the defense still be as good if his focus is not mainly on the defense? In the first half, yeah, you probably could have said that, but again, once the defense woke up, locked in, that was pretty much game. You got Sylvester Smith. He got booted for targeting, so he's gonna be out the first half against Alabama, which sucks because he's the starter. I believe star position. You had Keldrick Falk get beat up a little bit, so you did maybe get some little bumps and bruises here and there, but like it shouldn't be nothing too crazy to keep guys out for the Iron Bowl. Um, Jackson came in like I think like a couple of times, like 3 or 4 times. First he came in one time to like pick up a first down. He got a touchdown. He got the last touchdown for Auburn in the game. Listen. I hate that. I would have liked to see him run the offense more, like have the offense. Or no, sorry. I was hoping he could basically have the opportunity to run the offense the same way we saw with Deuce, the same way we saw with Ashton. Just because of the fact I'm curious, and I'm sure a lot of people are also curious on it. Would there be a difference in that regard with Derek Nix calling plays compared to what Hugh Freeze was doing? So that is something I was curious about. But listen, he got a touchdown. Happy for the guy. Obviously it sucks that things did not go the way you thought it would. But all in all, happy. Yeah, I'm happy he got a touchdown. There were a few, idiots booing him when he came in. Just really, really stupid. But I mean, overall, I am pretty happy for him. So now you got that done. You're all good to go. You put Mercer away. Now you can focus on the Iron Bowl. You're 5-6. You beat Alabama. You become bowl eligible. Um, and so that's the main goal. And then more than likely, I'm curious on it. I'm curious on if we hear much about the coaching search this upcoming week, because obviously John Cohen said he wants to make the announcement of who the head coach is after the Iron Bowl. So either So either immediately after the Iron Bowl or that Sunday. A lot of people still, and you probably can say, I don't know, but like a lot of people believe it is John Summerall. Now it could be somebody completely out of left field. That could happen. But a lot of people believe it is going to be John Summerall as the head coach. Obviously, if you've watched like the War Report, I'm sure like Mike G has, can provide more stuff about that. But it just seems like he was the front runner from the very start of this. I mean, I like him. I would pick him as I would go after him as the head coach. So I would not be surprised if a deal has already been made, like just behind the scenes, quiet stuff like that, and then afterwards, boom, here's your new head coach, and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so we're getting close. We're getting close to finding out who Auburn's next head coach is. So we got the Iron Bowl next week. On the basketball side of things, we got Monday. The men's basketball team is going to be in Las Vegas. They play Oregon on the 24th, and then they play Michigan on the 25th. So I'll be doing like uh back to back like videos for those two particular games. But that is relatively it, guys. Auburn beats Mercer 62-17. They earned their fifth win of the season, and to gear up for a Iron Bowl. Kickoff is 6:30 next Saturday night on the loveliest village in the Plains. I messed that up for some reason. I don't know why I did. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button, comment below, and I will see you all in the next video. Y'all have a good one.